Guru Ganeshabhyam Namaha. Hanumanji was in Kishkindha. Kishkindha is the territory around river Tungabhadra in present-day Karnataka. Kishkindha was a Vanara Rajya surrounded by Rakshasas. Kingdoms of Rakshasa kings Viradha, Khara, Dushana and Trishira surrounded Kishkindha, and towards the southern side was Ravana's Lanka. Bali had a special power. Whenever he is in a fight, he would get half the power of his enemy transferred to himself. Thus, he has got his own power plus half the power of his enemy, and the enemy's power becomes half as soon as he confronts Bali. When Ravana came to know about this, he thought that this is very dangerous. Somehow Bali should be killed. You can't face him from the front and kill him. So, once when Bali was offering prayers at the river, Ravana came from behind, planning to attack him. Bali, when he realized this, tied Ravana up with his tail. Bali used to go to many places to do his prayers. Wherever he went, Ravana was dragged along. And finally, Bali reached back Kishkindha. Everyone laughed seeing Ravana's fate, tied and bundled up in Bali's tail. Ravana admitted defeat and begged for Bali's friendship. Bali had nothing to gain from this friendship, still he accepted. Hanumanji had an inborn hatred towards Asuras, Danavas and Rakshasas. He did not like this friendship between Bali and Ravana. So, Hanumanji started getting more and more attached to Sugreeva, Bali's brother, even though Bali was the one who gave him a place in Kishkindha. Upon learning about the defeat of Ravana at Bali's hand, Mandodari's brother wanted to take revenge. He was Mayavi. He had magical powers. He didn't have full knowledge about Bali's power. He had only heard that some Vanara king had insulted his brother-in-law. So Mayavi reached the gates of Kishkindha and started challenging Bali for a fight. Bali rushed out towards him, and when Mayavi saw the real size and form of Bali, he started running for his life. Bali started chasing. Hanumanji and Sugreeva followed Bali. Mayavi ran up a mountain and went inside a cave. Bali also went inside the cave, but before that told Sugreeva and Hanumanji, "Wait for me here for 15 days. They both obeyed and waited outside the cave. They could hear fierce sounds of fighting from inside the cave. It went on for days. They didn't know what was going on inside, but could not go inside and see, lest they offend Bali by disobeying his order to wait outside. After a few days, suddenly streams of blood started flowing out of the cave. Bali had killed Mayavi. But the trickster that Mayavi was, before dying, he cried out loudly in Bali's voice. Sugreeva and Hanumanji heard cries of Bali and blood coming out from the cave. They thought that the Rakshasa must have killed Bali. Sugreeva sealed the entrance of the cave with a huge rock, thinking that Mayavi should not come out, or at least it will get him some time to go back to Kishkindha and organize his army for a fight with the Rakshasa. Sugreeva and Hanumanji went back to Kishkindha, and everyone was saddened to hear what happened. Fear started gripping Kishkindha that any time Mayavi would come out of the cave and attack Kishkindha. Kishkindha needed a king to lead and protect them. Everyone insisted that Sugreeva should take over as the king, and thus Sugreeva seated himself on the throne of Kishkindha. After killing Mayavi, Bali rested for some time, and when he was trying to come out of the cave, he found the entrance sealed. He became very angry. Could it be Sugreeva? Bali pushed aside the rock and came out. He started slowly walking back towards Kishkindha. All this took some time. And by this time, Sugreeva was settled as the king of Kishkindha. When Bali reached back Kishkindha, he found his brother Sugreeva seated on his simhasana as the king. He was convinced that Sugreeva had intentionally locked him up inside the cave to grab his kingdom. In a fit of rage, he attacked Sugreeva. Sugreeva knew that he will not be able to stand in front of Bali and started running. Hanumanji also started running with Sugreeva. Even now, Hanumanji was under the effect of the Rishi's curse, because of which he had forgotten his real power. They both kept on running with Bali behind them. Suddenly Hanumanji saw Matanga Parvata, on which used to be the ashrama of Matanga Maharshi. This is in Rishyamukha. Hanumanji said, run there, Bali will never enter there. There was a curse on Bali, which Matanga Maharshi had given him. Once a Rakshasa called Dundubhi attacked Kishkintha as a buffalo. Bali grabbed the buffalo by his horns, smashed him on the ground and threw his dead body away, which landed in Matanga Maharshi's ashrama. As it landed, blood splashed all over and desecrated the ashrama. The Maharshi said, whoever did this, his head will explode into 1,000 pieces if he ever sets foot in this mountain. Matanga Maharshi went away after the incident, but the power of the curse was still there. Sugreeva and Hanumanji ran up Matanga Parvata. Bali returned. Sugreeva started living there, but in fear. Only Bali will not be able to come here, but he can send others to kill him. Bali was also very vengeful towards his younger brother. Bali wanted to kill Sugreeva somehow. Anjaneyaya Namaha.